Alright guys, so we're trying something a little bit different today. Instead of just ranting about Andrew Tate and his style of making videos and content, I'm actually gonna play for you guys some of the things that I might or might not agree with and then react to them live here, and then I'll give you guys my overall opinion on Andrew Tate and what he's all about.
Is Tate's advice for guys below 6 feet?
Advice is that it's absolutely ridiculous to go through life wishing you were something you're not. The chessboard is the chessboard. It doesn't matter if you're 5'9", 5'7", 5'2". That's who you are. You need to walk around through life and just be proud of your achievements and be proud of who you are. You can't be going through life saying, I wish I was taller, sitting at home crying about it. So you can be the best version of yourself and own it, or you can become an insecure baby.
What is Tate's advice for guys?
I 100% agree with Andrew Tate on this one. I mean, this is kind of like a response to the black pillars who say that if you're not above a certain height or up to a certain length or width or have enough money, that you won't be able to achieve the same things as a guy that is shorter or missing these key characteristics that we deem to be so important as a society. I would argue that would be the very same thing as racism and sexism, arguing that a certain characteristic is holding you back from doing the things that you want to do. It's ridiculous. So far, Tate's on the right track. I agree with him on this one.
I think a man should have absolutely no interest in whether he's actually happy or not. If I wake up and I'm unhappy, I will do the exact same things as if I am happy. I will go to the gym the same. I will work the same. How I feel has no impact on how I live my life. I think for a man, if you're waking up and going, oh, am I happy, am I not, you're looking at life wrong. If you put happiness if you move it down the scale and you start looking at, am I successful? Am I competent? Am I achieving things? Am I respected? If you start to look at these indicators of your life, you're going to end up being happier without actually analyzing if you're happy or not.
Okay, so for this one, I do agree with some parts. I think that if you're waiting for happiness to come to you, it's just not going to happen in the way that you think it will. However, it is important to remember that emotions do hold real weight, and we are emotional beings, men or women, and this whole idea of stop feeling emotion that he's kind of portraying here is kind of impossible and paints a unrealistic picture of what real life actually is. The more important takeaway is that if you do the things that make you feel disciplined and build that lifestyle and that routine, happiness will come to you because of the things that you're doing. And it's important to know that and just do things that make you happy, right? I think that's overall what he's trying to say here. And I think that's the point.
A secret of the universe. Negative energy is real, and it's very, very sticky. If you hang around someone who's negative and talks about negative things and believes negative things and they say negative things, all the other negative energy in the universe hears this person and says, ah, this person is susceptible to our fuckery. Let's attack him. They attract it. Me and my team, we only speak positively. I don't have negativity around me. If I'm around someone who's complaining, even about something small, I have a flat tire, blah, blah, blah. No, I don't let negativity around me. Let me take...
Okay, first of all, I felt tired is not really negativity. That's just kind of an excuse, or it might even be true. They might have actually been tired. But I think the overall premise here of what he's trying to say is negative energy begets negative energy, and positive energy attracts positive energy. And I think overall that does definitely have some truth to it. But it's super hard to stay positive 100% of the time, and it's super important to call things out when you believe that they're wrong. If someone has an idea and you have some criticism for it, I would argue that you should speak that criticism. But if you're just being negative, basically if you're being negative without providing any ulterior actions that can be taken, then yes, you are doing the wrong thing. However, if you're being negative whilst sprinkling in some critique and some positive words of encouragement, I think that could be very beneficial. There is a way to be negative without pissing people off, And I think that's an important skill to learn.
Hi. I'm in the hotel in Prague. There's been a problem with my bank. There's been a problem with my bank cards. They've frozen all my cards. I don't know what it is. I'm gonna have to talk to the banks and find out what it's to do with. I think it might be to do with one of my passports, which was closed. I need you to send me $10,000. I'm gonna send you some bank details. I want you to send me 10 grand, but I need it like urgently. I'm gonna give it back to you, but I need it urgently. Is that okay?
Okay.
Please, as soon as you can. I'm gonna send you the details now.
Sure.
All right, baby. Bye.
Okay. Bye.
Okay, so this is kind of hilarious, but I don't think that this falls within helpful by any stretch of the imagination. This is a super unrealistic thing. He's basically, if you guys don't know what he's doing, he's testing something. He's calling a random girl in his contact list and asking for a wire transfer of $10,000. First of all, this could just be faked. He could have called her right before, told her to act this scene out for his video. Second of all, this shouldn't be something that any guy is striving for. Like, this is not a goal that is important. I don't think it's like meaningful whatsoever. Even if this was the case, he is a multi-millionaire. Obviously, he's gonna have a better time with getting a loan from someone because he has good credibility. This has nothing to do with the way he conducts his like sexual presence or anything like that. This is more of just a credit that he's acquired over the course of his many years as an entrepreneur and a businessman, showing through. I mean, Donald Trump, if he were to do the same thing, I'm sure he would be able to get a small loan of $1 million right off the bat. So I don't see how this is helpful or a flex or anything like that. If anything, this makes him look kind of silly and makes it look like he's using women for money, which is not the impression or the persona that he wants to be putting on. He wants to be saying that the men are the breadwinners and they're able to attract the woman. So overall, kind of a contradiction. I don't see how this one is helpful at all.
Now, I have a sister. My sister and I don't really talk. We don't talk because she goes to feminist rallies and she's also racist. I know. How can Andrew Tate have a low IQ sister? But it's been proven that the first child is always his smartest. She's like the third. It's a fucking third. Like you can name a first gold medalist, maybe a silver medalist. Oh, he's a bronze medalist. Who gives a fuck? Now,
okay, this one I fundamentally disagree with for some obvious reasons. First of all, he's basically putting down anyone who is not the oldest child, and that is something that you can never have control over. That's just completely ridiculous and not true. But yeah, this is like an ancient myth that the oldest child is superior in some way, but I don't think that he should ever be saying this because he has a lot of influence and it's very irresponsible for him to spread a corrupt idea such as this one. And secondly, I don't think that calling people who don't agree with you low IQ is smart whatsoever. And I think that is the very thing that got us into the situation that we're in right now of this hyperpolarity going on in the United States in which no one can agree, have a conversation or anything like that, because I truly believe that that is what the powers that be want, and they want us in a way to not be able to talk to one another out of fear of getting angry at one another. And I don't think that that's the way to be, because with that, nothing ever gets resolved. Whereas if you have a meaningful conversation with someone in the areas in which you disagree on, you could probably find that you have a lot more common ground than you think, and overall just find a solution that might not have been known beforehand. So I think that this is a very silly comment by Tate.
saying that I felt like crying, so I cried, this makes me a real man, is as stupid as me saying, well, I felt like smashing his face in, so I smashed his face in. This makes me a real man. No, the hallmark of a real man is controlling himself, controlling his emotions, and acting appropriately, regardless of how he feels. And throughout human history, this is exactly how men had to live their lives. Weakness and absolute submission to your feelings are not the hallmarks of men. It's not the way society has ever been built. It's never been built off the backs of men who were crying their eyes out because they felt like crying.
So he's basically equating a man crying to a man smashing someone's face in because he felt like it. Obviously, if you smash someone's face in because you felt like it, you're a psychopath and you're hurting another person for no reason whatsoever. Crying, I mean, the thing about crying is I think it's a very necessary emotion to feel for any human being. Yes, you don't have to cry in front of others, but to be honest, if a man cries in front of others and like tells them what he's feeling and why, it can be perceived as a very, very strong attribute. Tate is of the belief that the less vulnerable you make yourself out to be in front of others, the more strong they will perceive you to be. This is almost never the case. Look at every pep talk, pretty much by any soldier or anything. They often harbor on things that are very, very negative and sad in order to convey their point across, that they were able to overcome some certain hardships. It's not like a daisy field where everything is wonderful, and sometimes people need to cry. And if you don't cry and let your emotions out, they will bottle up inside you and just overall create a block in your brain and in your body that you just don't need whatsoever. And that's just not the way to be. And I think he's promoting that toxicity that we very much sought out to quelch on this channel here. And I think that, yes, if a man cries every couple minutes, that could be a problem, and that could be weakness of some sort. But crying once a month, once every 3 months to let out your emotions could be a very smart, calculated, and tactical thing to do for anyone, man or woman. Alright, so obviously this is the end of the video. Andrew Tate is a very successful and highly respected man. He does have excellent delivery and some great advice, but some of his advice is extremely toxic and wrong and paints an inaccurate picture of our modern world that is very detached from reality. So overall, what this channel is about is exposing lies and teaching you guys to understand the truth and how to find it. And I thought that I had to expose some of these stupid philosophies that Tate has so that you guys in the self-improvement space don't fall for nonsense. So with that being said, thank you so much for watching. Take care.